This is Waddow Hall, and this is a really famous girl guiding and scouting adventure centre. In fact, my wife, she used to come here 40 odd years ago. She won't like me saying that, but 40 odd years ago, when she was a little girl, she came on holiday to Clitheroe and stayed here. And it closed down. The Girl Guiding UK closed down 4 big centres like this around the UK. Waddow Hall being one of them. Basically, it was costing too much money to run, so they had to make some savings somewhere. So Waddow Hall basically put up for if any girl guiding groups around the UK wanted to take it over and run it themselves away from the main organisation, that would be fine. So a local group was put together called Waddow Hall Trust, and they've been working really, really hard on raising awareness of the issue, fundraising. They needed to get £5 million together to take this over. And our MP, Nigel Evans, he got involved. He's been publicly backing it the whole time, up until this week. So today is Wednesday the 19th of June 2024. And on Monday, he put a post onto his own Facebook.
Hello, it's Nigel Evans, and here I am at Waddow Hall. You will remember that this has been the site for girl guides and youth organisations for almost a century. You will have read from my leaflet that I fought hard against the Girl Guide organisation in London who were determined to sell the site. Well, as you can see, they closed the gates just at the end of last year, and since April I've been in negotiations with one of the bidders that should they be successful, they want me to take charge of this site and then to reopen it for the activities that it's been doing for the last 97 years. And the great news is that they have been successful. The Girl Guide organisation has accepted their bid, and I will now lead my own charity with the sole purpose of reopening this site for the Girl Guides and youth organisations. I want this site put back to the purpose that it was 97 years ago. I'm delighted that they have been successful, and I look forward within months to welcoming the first Girl Guides and youth organisations back to Waddow Hall.
So obviously we're in an election at the moment, and Nigel's been here for 32 years. It's been one of the Tory safe seats in the country, so he's not had to do a stroke of work in all that time. He's basically just been living the dream, let's put it that way, living the dream at all the constituents in the Ribble Valley's expense. He doesn't do a stroke of work, as I say. He's famously the laziest MP in Parliament, and it looks very, very possible that he's going to lose his seat this time around, as the Tories are very unpopular as this election is gathering pace. Another poll's out today saying that they're going to have only 100 seats when on the 5th of July, when we all go to vote. So anyway, that's not the story. The story is that Nigel Evans has been supporting the Waddow Hall Trust since its inception last year. He's put countless different media things out there. He's been in all the newspapers. He's put it on his own website. If you go on his own Facebook, he's there. Can't say enough good things about Waddow Hall Trust and what an amazing organisation it is, and that everybody should get behind them and support them, help them raise the money to take over Waddow Hall and to basically reopen it for generations to come. However, this week, as I say, he's announced that he's going to take it over. He's going to run it. And as you can see, lots and lots of people are a little bit disgruntled with this because it's just so bizarre. It's if Nigel Evans had any background in working with young people, with working with the guiding or the scouting organisations, if he'd shown any interest in the past in anything to do with young people. I mean, this is the MP who's seen all of the youth facilities in the Ribble Valley disappear over the last 14 years. He's been voting for the austerity cuts that have closed down the youth centres and Trinity, the mobile youth workers that used to go around in the bus. He's voted for all of that. So it's a bit of a stretch for the imagination to think that this guy suddenly has got an interest in youth. He's got an interest in young people and a facility for them to come away and get memorable holidays. We all remember as children when we went off to these kind of pursuit centres, school holidays, Cubs, Scouts, Brownies, Guides. That's what Waddow Hall's for. And it stinks, this. And loads of people have gone on to Nigel's page and they've all said, look, what's going on? You were supporting this bid the other week, and now all of a sudden you've got your own bid and you're going to run it. And nobody knows where that leaves Waddow Hall Trust. I can't imagine what they're going through at the moment, to be stabbed in the back like this. But this is what's going on at the moment, and I've been trying to get some news organisations to pick up the story. Luckily today, Lancashire Telegraph have actually, on Monday, they printed a copy and paste press release from Nigel Evans, basically applauding him for saving the day at Waddow Hall. But as time's gone on, 48 hours have passed since then, and I think the big picture's coming through, and they're starting to realise, oh, wait a minute, there's a bit more to this than we actually anticipated. There's so many questions that are raised by this. For instance, all the money that the Waddow Hall Trust have raised. Well, what's going to happen to that now? Because there was nobody else in the race. There was nobody else who was claiming to be a competitor. So they've been working really hard, raising the money, and as far as they were concerned, it was just a race against time to get the money together and get everything sorted. And then the guy who's been privy to all the information, all of their private information with regards to finances and the plans for the future, he's gone off, probably had a few pints with somebody, and they've come up with their own deal. It's absolutely appalling. Now, the biggest problem we've got 48 hours into this story is that nobody knows who is funding it. All Nigel said is that he is going to be running it. He's going to be setting up his own charity. Well, the Waddow Hall Trust is already a charity. They've already gone through that. And if anybody's ever got involved with things like that, you will know that that is a long process. There's a lot of hard work involved in just becoming a charity. It's not something you can just set up on your computer one night. You've got to go through a lot of different application forms and vetting processes and all the rest of it. They've done all that. They've been fundraising, they've been working tirelessly. Everybody in Clitheroe knows how hard they've been working on this. And this is why everybody's just they're furious on the one hand, but also just confused on the other. Like, what is going on? What is this about? Is this simply a cynical attempt for Nigel to have a job if he's unsuccessful in the general election? Nobody knows the answers to these questions just yet. Hopefully, more of the media will be getting interested in this story and will try and find the answers, particularly who's bought it. Because if it's one of Nigel's mates, he's took all the information from going down and pretending that he was part of the Waddow Hall Trust, that he was one of the supporters, which, as I say, it's all over his social media, it's all over his website that he backs them and everybody needs to get behind the Waddow Hall Trust. And for him to do this, it's just incredible. So many questions about this, but they won't all be answered today, I'm afraid, because Nigel hasn't said a word about it. In fact, he has. I'll tell a lie there. He's replied to a tweet on Twitter. I'll pull that up. He must be a few jars in, judging by the way that his grammar is on this message. But yeah, he said that he does want the WHT, the Waddow Hall Trust, to be involved, but it's just so weird, this story. So I'll see what I can find out and hopefully publish a new video when all of the information has come out. But right now, there's a lot of anger and a lot of upset in Clitheroe and the Ribble Valley, and I'm sure within the wider community in girl guiding, because there's so many people who've been like 100% committed to this for well over 12 months. The announcement was over 12 months ago. It closed down on the 31st of December last year, but there was plenty of notice that girl guiding were pulling out by that date. So Waddow Hall have been working for well over 12 months, but probably getting on for 18 months on getting this bid together. And this guy, who's done nothing for this area, nothing at all, he's been here for 32 years, and there's not a single thing that anybody can say he's achieved that while he's been here. He's just been the laziest MP, probably in Parliament. He's got away with it for so long. Nobody knows why. People kept voting for him. Nobody's really understood it, but what a shame for everybody at the WHT, the Waddow Hall Trust, and what the only scenario that can be positive in this is if Nigel realises that if this was a bit of electioneering, it's not worked. If anything, it's going to guarantee him losing his seat. And if he had any decency whatsoever, which I seriously doubt, but if he did have any decency whatsoever, he should really pull out straight away, get back to Girl Guiding UK and say, look, I can't do this. It was a bit of a stunt for the election, and it's blown up in my face. That can be the only good scenario. And then, of course, Waddow Hall Trust can continue with the work that they're doing. If there's any more updates, I'll post it here. And thanks for listening, and I'm sure if you'd like to make your opinions known to Nigel Evans, I'm sure you'll know how to do that.